It's Victory Tuesday around Chiefs Kingdom. And hey,
Monday.
there's a lot to like about today. Like Seth says, it's a good day to be a Chiefs fan. They did a lot of good things. They did a couple things they need to improve on. And good Lord, they might get some guys back. We're going to get into it tonight and answer all of your questions. You guys are driving the bus. We're just along for the ride. So you know what? No intro. Let's get into it, Dan.
No intro.
Hey, you guys have been great. Thank you for your support. Make sure you hit the like and the sub if you're not already subbed to the channel. And for all you new members, we've gotten a bunch of you lately. Make sure you tie your Discord connection to your YouTube account, and then you can get it all. Get it all in the membership. So, hot topic, and I know that you've been digging this out, and I'm excited to hear this. Like, how did they go about doing this in the pass game yesterday?
Man, it was not just Mahomes being amazing, but he had a couple of targets in mind when he was attacking. So there are two big guys that they went after: Charvarius Ward, shocker, and Jimmy Ward. Those two guys, they're two best secondary members,
quote unquote.
And he attacked them. 6 targets to Charvarius, 6 targets to Jimmy Ward, 12 of 12. Okay.
Oof.
JuJu had 2 targets, 2 receptions, 20 yards. MVS, 2 targets. This was against Charvarius Ward. 2 targets, 2 receptions, 71 yards. And obviously you have McCole Hardman, 1 for 1. Joe Fortson, 1 for 1. 6 for 6. 104 yards, 17.3 yards per reception against Charvarius Ward. Against Jimmy Ward, there were 6 targets, 6 receptions for 42 yards, a little bit less in the department, but again, 7 yards per catch, 24 yards a yak. Kelsey with 1, Hardman with 2, Gray 1, Watson 1, and Jerick McKinnon 1. That Watson one was the touchdown, and he just beat him off the line. Ward had no idea what was happening. He had no clue, and they attacked those two. That's 12 of Mahomes' 34 completions. He had an idea in mind where he was going against this game. And again, Charvarius Ward in man coverage, guys. We talked about it for years. Mahomes saw it. He's like, I played against this guy in practice. I know what he can't do. And he exploited it. Do
you guys remember in training camp, there's that clip, and I pass it around as much as possible. It was in camp. Patrick was screaming at Rashad Fenton, you hold every dang play. Every play you hold. That's the kind of stuff that he knows about every player he's ever played or practiced with. And that's why you go about it. What this says to me is that unlike a couple of games ago, or maybe even the last game, the game plan was correct. Oh, man. Nick Bosa even came out and said they had a great plan for me, and it messed me up personally.
I went back and I watched it. Oh, my gosh. It was a masterclass. It was everything we've been asking for them against the pass rush. Apparently, it just takes a Nick Bosa for them to do it.
Yeah, I guess not Vaughn, because you can't really get anything done with Vaughn. You tell me, because I haven't rewatched. I haven't seen the 22, and I haven't rewatched, but a drive so far. But to me, what I had in my notes live was they got the chips. They cut him a little bit. They had the tight ends in sometimes. So it was the variation of where it was coming. He didn't know what was coming for him each play.
It was the jet sweeps. He's such an aggressive player. They used that against him. Like specifically when you go to the CEH's touchdown run, they let him run upfield. He ran upfield 6 yards, and they just said, fine, we're going to run right inside that B gap, and he's going to get a touchdown untouched, basically. They did that. They ran chips. There was also a really nice play of Noah Gray. This wasn't on Nick Bosa, but he was doing it as well, where he's kind of off. He's not in line, but he's off kind of like a Y, but on that wing type of setup. They used him and McKinnon a lot as quote-unquote wings. If you guys ever played wing T offense in college or high school, you know what I'm talking about. He's just kind of detached there, and he would engage, but then let go. Like it would be a little engage and go out to the flat. So you think you're getting blocked, and then you're on the ground or you're off balance. They did a ton of those little just tiny nicks. And again, like Ryan was saying, Nick Bosa had no clue what was coming, whether it was chip, whether it was a fake chip, whether it was going to be him rolling out, whether it was going to be a sprint out, whether it was going to be any type of motion. He had that's why I tweeted out the 49ers are seeing double. They had no idea. They had no idea what was happening. They had no clue.
And that's what it comes down to. That makes all the difference in the world. Now, folks, this is the Q&A show. These are our initial thoughts. We're going to get into all of your questions because I know you have a ton of topics. I got to start with last night because I don't think I got to this one correctly because it got hidden. It was, my name is Vale. Thank you for the support last night. He had a $5 super chat that helped us out, and it was about Jerry Jeudy. If he's available, is he as good as DJ Moore? I don't think we answered that question, if I remember correctly. So I want to make sure. If you had to pick one of those players, who do you take? Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore?
I would take DJ. I think DJ is a better player. He is also not reliant on creating separation based off of speed alone. He's a bit more physical, and I think he's a better overall player in terms of his route running. He doesn't fall whenever he, catches the ball. He doesn't drop the ball as much. He's just been snake bitten in a Panthers offense. It's terrible. So I think DJ Moore is a better player.
Okay, fair enough. That leads us into the next question. But folks, if you hit the super chats, I guarantee you'll get a question. Even if I have to roll it over to the next show, I guarantee you every super chat gets answered. If you want to support the channel, that's the way to do it. Or you can grab some of the gear in the gear store. That always helps. Join the memberships. If you do, you get into the Discord. And now we have the automatic linking thanks to FLDB, which, by the way, if you want to go check it out, this is the link. Bit.ly, that's bit.ly/RGR Nation. You can get over there and check it out and at least see what it looks like. It all opens up once you join the memberships because it is a members perk for this channel. If you join the memberships at Rookie or above, you get into the Discord and you get everything unlocked. A lot of great conversation over there, and a lot of our contributors go in there as well as some faces that probably have some better insight. You'll see some good stuff in there. I encourage you all to check it out. But that comes back to Gary's question. Do you think that the Broncos will actually trade Jerry Jeudy?
I don't think they will, personally. I think that he's still got quite a bit of potential. And again, with Russell Wilson, we kind of talked about it last night. If your goal is to get him comfortable, because you can't trade him, you can't cut him, taking away one of his receivers he's been trying to get comfortable with all season, probably not the best idea. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Royce. I appreciate that. We do our best. I had one slip through about a year ago, and it really pissed me off. So I make sure that we get them all.
Ryan guilts himself into anything he possibly can. So as from experience, like from the guilt side, he will always follow through on the super chats. I promise you that.
Hey, if I can't give people value, why would you watch us anymore, right? Hey, we're here for you guys. And Tim, thank you. You're giving us content by giving us something to answer. So that's why I love this show. That's awesome. And Tim did ask, why do you keep putting Moore in as a returner? It's a decent question. He's clearly not cut out for it. Maybe they think they see something I don't, and I'm not sure why they don't use him how they did in camp out of the backfield. I think there's twofold there. You take the first one, and I'll dovetail whatever you don't cover.
All right. So the first part of your question with him being a punt returner again, when Gary and I went to training camp, we were there, and he was on the Skyy Moore side. I was on the Trent McDuffie side. Obviously, we don't have Trent McDuffie out there, so it doesn't really help you. I was much more confident in watching him return punts than I was Skyy. The ball tracking had been an issue. The ability to consistently catch the football and not be late like that, and the understanding of what you're supposed to do had not been there. It's not something he's never done before. And they were just trying to get him on the field. This is something that we see a lot with rookies like Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill. These guys come in and they're like, okay, we're going to ease you in. You can be a punt returner. You can be a kick returner. They do this a lot. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't think that Skyy Moore is going to be a punt returner in the league. Possibly next week, not this coming because they have a bye, but the week after, you'll see somebody else back there. Maybe it's Mecole. I highly doubt it, but it might be someone new.
I think Mecole, it's interesting to say that because that's why the backfield part. I think they'll keep trying Skyy, A, to not wreck his confidence, but B, because they saw him do it in college. And this is what we always say about the leap up the levels to the NFL. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And even though he was successful as a returner in college, doesn't mean he can do it here. I think it's much better for him to just concentrate on learning the offense and becoming a cog there, because the reason he's not in the backfield is because that's what they've had to do with Mecole. Mecole down the field has not been producing. So you had to rough it up, change it up. And I think that kind of unlocked Mecole as we saw yesterday. So do you think that those are separated things, or are they overlapping?
No, I actually think that McColl's been a bit better downfield this year than ever in his career, maybe outside of his first season, because they were using him only a few different ways. And teams were still in single high defenses. That kind of changed these things a little bit. But I think he's been starting to understand where to be on the field. And personally, I know that Mahomes has talked about it a little bit, that sometimes you also have to adjust to the receiver. Like if the receiver is screaming across the field and you throw it upfield, probably not a good idea because he can't adjust to that football because he's running across the field.
He's
So
being lateral.
yeah, so there's some things that they have to work out themselves, but I think that they also are saving Skyy Moore a little bit for the backfield stuff for the postseason because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be beautiful. You're going to have Isaiah Pacheco back there, and it's going to be a full house with McKinnon, or excuse me, it's going to be Pacheco with Hardman and Skyy Moore. I'm calling it now.
You had me at full house. I don't care who it is. Full house with wings. I'm sold. Let's do this.
That's all you got to do.
Especially because everybody that line up in the backfield or at wing can then split out, and you can go 5 wide on them if they
run some
wheels,
linebackers, run some wheels, and then run over the middle of the field. You got some dangerous stuff there.
Slant wheel post. It's simple. Come on. Okay, here we go, folks. Dan and I will take this back to 1934. They let us.
Let's go.
Yeah, it'll be great. But thank you guys. The questions are great. Adam had a good one. How are you feeling about JuJu? Should they extend him now? I'm maybe a little higher on JuJu than most people. I put him on there because I really do think that he has the potential to be the next 1-2 punch with Travis.
Yeah.
Not in the same way Hill was, but in an effective way. I still wouldn't extend him yet. It's been one breakout game. Let's get 3/4 of a season number before we even think about it.
Yeah, get me to week 10. He's got two really good games under his belt. It took him until week 5 to get going. Now we're seeing him actually start to have some success. We need to see sustained success. This could be an overreaction to a couple good games where the defenses, I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to break that run against the Bills. I didn't expect him to do that. So he's getting confident, I think, and he's getting clearly more comfortable in the offense, and Mahomes is using his skill set to his ability. So if we see 1.5 more games of 100 yards, I'm more than willing to extend him because I think he'll be a very valuable cog. Again, 25 years old. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Can the Chiefs coaches see that Skyy Moore should never be that? I don't think that's that far, Kevin. And I'm sorry, I meant to get this in before we finish that other topic. I don't think it's that far. I think he's having trouble, and I think you have to identify what that is. And I'm not sure if it's confidence, if it's like I said, the muffed one in particular. It looked like he was told to be on a spot, and he didn't want to come off that spot.
Yeah,
he didn't want to venture outside the hashes, is what it looked like to me very far. And if he doesn't drag that, if he moves his feet, he's under it, and it's not a problem. It's refinement here. I don't think it's a total lost cause yet. I could be wrong. I like this one, Mark. Clear the beach. There's a shark in the water. I instantly see Roy Schonner in those 7-inch thick glasses. That's exactly what I see.
Yeah.
So
man,
my wife is a huge Jaws fan.
There is some confidence brewing in Frank Clark right now. The last month, I'm not going to say he's becoming the player we thought he would be, but he's playing better. I think he's getting confident. I think he's more confident in his body. Obviously, he had some medical stuff over the course of his career in Kansas City, but he's been working through it. And I know, honestly, Trent Williams is so good, guys. He snatched the ever-loving crap out of 4 people. It was otherworldly, and Frank Clark was a victim of it at least twice, I think. But again, it's Trent Williams. But he had a good day. He had a good day.
He did. Now, if he can string that together, that will be the Frank Clark they had hoped for.
Something.
And I hate to say it. I hear the ghost of Terez Paylor right now. The contract year is undefeated.
Is it though? Is it the contract
year? You tell
year,
me.
Or is it more that he finally is playing at a weight he's comfortable with?
I'm going contract year.
I'm not, because last year should have been a contract year.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I love it, but
right?
Last year the writing was on the wall. Everyone knew it. Hey, Frank, you're pretty much done, and they had to restructure his contract to keep him. So,
okay, all right. I'll go optimistic with you. Lots on Skyy Moore, a little down on the rookie players. Yep, a lot of people down on Skyy. He's going to be fine. And quite frankly, when you see him get into the offense, and you got him and McCole, look for. I'm just going to tell you this. It's a high school concept that I haven't seen in a couple of years, but they should do it. You can run mesh in the backfield. I think they should do that with Skyy and Hardman and get double jet sweeps and let Patrick just pick, because somebody's going to overreact and it's going to be a huge game breaker.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but we know that's not going to happen.
No, running the ball. Who thought it? Would you have rather? Who would you rather have after watching the recent game, Burns or OBJ? Yeah, and this is a legitimate one because cap space wise, you can only have one. So right now, what do you got?
Brian Burns.
Okay.
I think complementary football, the wide receiver room that they have, they're fine. I think OBJ, if he's healthy, definitely puts them over. Like that would be a great move, but you don't really know if he's healthy. You know Brian Burns is healthy. I don't know if you guys watched him yesterday. Oh, he was so good. He's feeling the
he
trademark.
Knows he's on the block, and he's like, hey, I'm going to show you everything that you could have right here. I got to tell you, I lean that direction too. But I will say, in terms of bang for the buck and what this team needs and always settles on the offensive side, you put OBJ on top of JuJu and MVS and Hardman. There isn't a secondary in this league that can handle it.
There isn't. I'm worried that he's not healthy.
I agree.
Ever like through this season. I don't know.
I agree with you, Quentin. Why do the Chiefs seem to always have to come out looking rusty? I mean, I know, we know one that can stop giving up 10 points to start the game. I mean, yeah, if you don't put yourself in a hole, it'd be a plus. I always come back to this thing that Andy Reid in particular, but I think the bulk of the coaching staff, they take their orders from him. They see this as a 20-game season every year. And they're doing this to raise at the end of the season. I just took that off camera. I'm trying to do this at the end of the season. That's just my gut feeling. Do you see something different, Dan?
I saw someone tweet it the other day. I don't know who it was, so I apologize if you're listening and I'm talking about what you tweeted. I apologize. Patrick in college always had to spot the team. Like he's always having to come back at Texas Tech. Like it's, I don't think this is true. It's just a funny saying. Like he's comfortable when he's down. I also heard on the Athletic Football Show, Patrick Mahomes, whenever in his career the team is spotted a double-digit lead, he's 10-8 in his career. Okay, that's a career. The next closest player in that, the next closest team in that time, is 8-18. 8-18. 10 games under 500.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is just a different. I don't know what it is. And it's got to be more of a mental thing because after that pick and them going up 10, he was lights out. You can go back. There was no room for error. He was doing everything. And
unlike Bills, he settled and he knew that and he adjusted accordingly. Like he got more business-like.
Yeah.
Like I see that as a sign of maturity. And I'm going to check the possessions here real quick while we're still talking about that because I do want to say something. If I double check, he spotted them 8 minutes of the first quarter with not doing anything. And then he put up 540 yards of offense. Or sorry, led. He didn't.
Yeah. It's,
you know what I mean? Like
something else.
That's how you settle in and adjust. There's just it's incredible. And I probably should put Patrick Mahomes on every thumbnail that ever goes up on this channel, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So just remember, I'm gonna start hiding him in the little bits. There'll be a little Patrick somewhere.
There should be a little Patrick in every thumbnail.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do.
Find the Patrick.
That's what. Okay. All right. Where's Waldo? We got this. Do you think we offer Orlando around the same money in the offseason? By the way, he had a great game. He did play better. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say great.
They helped him out.
Yeah, they have to. That's what this team is, and that's okay. But I don't think he gets the same contract or offer that the Chiefs were even offering him last time. Tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I don't think he's earned that unless things turn around here down the stretch.
No, I don't think so. It's, again, you have to play up to it. And if you don't play up to it, I don't think the Chiefs are going to offer him that same money, especially if he plays relatively like he has all season. He's not getting that same offer. I can almost guarantee that's not going to happen.
I'm with you. Here, take Patrick's. I'm going to grab the new ones.
All right, man. Thank you, Patrick. Knowing the team looks and can be a complete team on both sides, do we need to use the trade capital on all the picks that we have? Or do you think if each rides it out with who we have? So I think that they're going to be looking to make a move. I do think that that's right now. You're kind of seeing the direction of the team. I think the defense is playing above par, personally, regardless of the chunk plays that are being given. And I think that if you get somebody to help round out the defense, then it's going to make everything a little bit better. And this is what they really have tried to do. I like Ryan was talking about with gearing up for the postseason. The defense typically finds a groove and then they start to elevate. And right now they do have an earlier bye than they usually do, but it's right before the trade deadline.
Mm.
It's right before it. And that just makes me a little suspicious. Like they're gonna do something. Chris was talking about it last night. Like you brought up a really great point about this buy could be their opportunity to get a look at a lot of different players on the trade market. And I think that's just a really beautiful thing. So I think you might see something happening after Sunday, maybe even before Sunday.
I hope so. I know there's some concern. If they can do anything to bolster the roster, I think they have to in those couple of places we're always talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe they feel the desperation isn't the right word, but the opportunity to improve. Because you can't play like that every week. At least I don't see this team being able to put that up every week. That needs to be the goal. I don't know that they can.
Yeah.
Jeremy, welcome back, by the way. Are the Chiefs and Bills just that much better than the rest of the NFL? And how close is Sauce Gardner to being the best corner already? Sauce is in top 5 right now. He has more PBUs than I think 3 guys, and he's the only rookie. He's outmatched 10-4 PBUs against Stingley, who in college was actually the better player overall. It's crazy. Like, good for him. He also hasn't been tested as much as some.
No, I also want to peek in to what the Jets do. They are not a man-based defense. Because Robert Salah coming over from the 49ers, they run a lot of cover 3, cover 2. You're a cover corner, and you're not a single stand play. He plays about 60% of the snaps in zone coverage. The guy who, in my opinion, is playing better as a rookie and probably is going to win defensive rookie of the year is Tariq Woolen. He absolutely is going to. If he keeps this pace up, he will win it.
I agree. I don't think he can keep it up. I think he's been on a good roll, but I think he will get exposed.
I don't think he can get exposed. Well. He's changing direction so much better than he did in college. I've been watching him.
But it's not elite. It's in no way elite. It's better than it was. I think you're going to see some things that are going to take advantage of him. I guarantee it. I just don't know if he'll be able to then adapt again. Kudos to this staff because they're getting the hell out of their draft class. They're doing
great. They are. They have a great draft class.
And Jeremy, for the first half of your question, yes, the Chiefs and the Bills
so
really
much
are
better.
That much
They're
better.
So much better.
And the Eagles are very good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they could put up points with either of these teams.
No,
based on the competition they've faced.
We'll see. I like what they're doing, but again, have they been tested?
That's the big question.
No,
not really.
Not really.
Real chance. I mean, it's a chance. I can't say whether it's real or not. It's whether they pull the trigger and get the deal that they need.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility. Keenan Allen and McDuffie had the same injury same week. Do you think that McDuffie will have limited snaps like Keenan did this week? I don't think so. I think they held him out on purpose. So they didn't have to do that. So they can let him get in. Because once he goes, I think there's more benefit of waiting and letting him just play hard than it is like slowly fading him in there where he's not 100%.
That's kind of the thing. Like Keenan Allen probably should have been put on IR. And he wasn't, and they kept trying to ramp him up and ramp him up and ramp him up like that. In the long run's probably going to delay the whole process. And this way, Trent McDuffie should, knock on wood, come in after the bye week and look pretty much like he did. Like that's what the idea is. You rest him up so he can be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even though it was negated by a flag, the PBU from Bolton on Kittle was a nice play. Yeah. If I remember the play that you're talking about, I thought that was nice. He got beat early, and then he recovered from that. So, like, again, that was like recognition, being able to understand how they're attacking you. It's just more good signs from Nick Bolton. Who has more potential, Williams or Watson?
This is a fun question.
It's a good question.
Because I think that I'm going to stick with my original answer. I think Williams looks much better. I won't say much better than Watson in man coverage, but that's what he's best at. I think that he's got a lot of Charvarius Ward in him. At the top of routes, he loses the guy a little bit. He doesn't continue through the route. He doesn't have that natural instinct that you see with guys, in my opinion, like Woolen and Gardner. They had that instinct to run through the route with the receiver. And Williams is still losing. He has a little bit of feel issue at the top. And I don't think he's as good as Watson in zone. So I think Watson being a better zone player and I think on par in man coverage offers more potential. But again, this is just based off what we've seen. I don't really have a really solid answer. Right now, my eyes say that Watson has a little bit more upside and potential than Williams does.
I agree with everything you said. That's the way that I would lean right now. But again, Josh is making the bigger leap. So just because that's what we see today doesn't mean that's not what we'll see week 10 or, camp next year.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm impressed with when he's still farther ahead than I thought he would be coming from Fayetteville State. Yeah.
Like just watching him yesterday, he was in good position almost every single time. And then at the top of the route, he gets a little lazy and tries to look for the football and doesn't keep his motor going. And that's the biggest issue. If they can get him to run through the route while looking for the football, he's going to come up with picks. He's going to come up with picks. I tell you right now.
Christo, I can't tell you why Moeaki didn't work out other than the fact that he didn't track the ball very well. Over anything over the shoulder that wasn't like a 45 or better, he was out there.
I mean, it wasn't even just here. He just wasn't very good. Everyone saw the splash, the catch. It was the catch, and everyone's like, this dude's gonna be it. And then he just wasn't.
It just wasn't. Brian, I talked about this on the Locked On Chiefs show that will go up here in another hour. I actually do like that move. They only let Cook play 24 snaps yesterday, which was down from 47 the last game that he played. I'm just a little bit concerned, and I think Fenton in space guards against his weaknesses, which are over-aggression in man and getting beat by long speed. So let him play the space. He's good at it.
It's a match made in heaven.
It is. I think it'll help him. Right, to the Chiefs trade for Montez Sweat, Chase Allen, Josh Allen, or Brian Burns, or a DT like Derek Brown, Jerron Payne, or Jonathan Allen. The only problem with all the tackles that you mentioned, I don't think any of them are the pass rushing defensive tackle that can actually help them. It was Frank and Chris with the most pressures yesterday, followed by George Karlaftis, followed by Colin Saunders. So unless you can bring something that tells me you can pressure more than Saunders and GK, I'm going edge. I like Josh Allen too. I always felt that calling him a down edge rusher was out of water for him. Like he's a stand-up OLB type rusher for me. He has more speed than I think we see most days. I think he and Burns, take your pick. And Sweat's okay. I was just never huge on him coming out.
No, I think he's gotten a bit better in terms of his strength over the last year. We're seeing a little bit more of the return this year, but I think he's faster than either of those guys. Like just a little bit more in the burst that he has closing is different, but again, he'd be cheaper. So you're also in more risk involved, in my opinion, with Sweat than there is with Josh Allen or Burns. I just don't think the Jags have any interest. I don't think they've ever wanted to trade away Josh Allen.
No, I wouldn't consider it if I were them.
No.
I mean, he's the guy he's the Trevor Lawrence of the defense. Like he's the guy you have to build around, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now the Colts have decided to punt their season, there's someone on the deal that we can get for reasonable compensation. I mean, if you want to shoot for the moon, go Buckner and Ngakoue. That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, if you want to shoot for the moon, Chris isn't going to give it away for you. So you're still talking about contract size, and that's what they don't have right now. I don't think they could fit either of those guys, even with the remainder of their yearly bonus, and the Colts would have to eat part of it going down the line. So I just don't see it happening.
Me either.
Jaden, hope you're doing well. Do you think it's possible the Chiefs traded for a pass rusher and sign a wide receiver, or vice versa? As I said before, I don't think they can do both. It's one acquisition as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they're going to make two. Like this is going to be like it was last year. You're going to see someone come along, one guy. Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
I'm with you. Mason Tice from the Athletic Podcast said that the Chiefs were good at discombobulating Bosa to the point where McKinnon was fake chipping in by the end, totally throwing him off. And that's the thing is, Jarek's really good at that.
Yeah.
Because of his smaller size, he actually has the ability to get under pads and jack dudes up when he's chipping.
Exactly.
He's like that gnat that just won't go away. He's actually more scary about that and throwing you off of your planned pass rush attack than a lot of other backs that chip. So
it's fun, man.
I haven't listened to Nate and Robert yet, but I'm glad that they recognize that as well. Donnie, thanks for the support. 2 things from me. Talk me out of not trading for Deron Payne. Was the best blocking game of Jody Fortune's career so far. Jody broke 2 different plays that scored. So yes on that. And you tell me what you think of Payne.
I haven't seen enough of Payne as a professional. Honestly, I haven't seen enough. But if we're talking you out of it, again, we're talking about pass rush. Like you have a Derek Nottie, who doesn't rush the passer. I think that Deron Payne probably came out the doors decent in that regard, and it's gotten progressively worse over his career. And I don't know whether that's because offensive lines are just like, hey, you can't really do much. We're just going to double you, and you can't do anything. Maybe that's what it is. Again, I haven't seen enough of his tape, but like Ryan said, unless you're bringing in a viable defensive tackle that can offer pass rush upside, I'm not really for it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Fair enough. I'm with you. But thank you, Donnie. Appreciate the support. You too, Bill. Appreciate you. For trade candidates, who would you rather have? DJ Moore or Elijah Moore? Burns or Allen? Probably DJ for me.
So I think I'm going to take Elijah.
Yeah.
And that's because, DJ is still young too. But I don't think that DJ Moore needs to get out. He's a really good receiver. They're not ruining him. The Jets might ruin Elijah Moore. They absolutely might ruin him. And I also think he's got a ton of upside. He can play an X as well as a slot. And that gives you a lot of versatility. Even though he's a smaller receiver, he gives you some versatility. Again, the Chiefs love versatile receivers, and he offers you that too. I think DJ can do it too. But I just think that Elijah brings a lot of yak ability to this offense. And that's, while they've had some pretty good yak this season, surprisingly enough, I think it's something you can always add to.
I like where you're coming from. The only reason that I would say the opposite could be true as well is because I think that it is more likely that the leadership wants to move DJ more than leadership wants to move Elijah.
I agree with you.
I think that's important. And just in terms of fit, like I prefer, I don't know, it's a toss-up. I had both of these guys as my number 2 pass rusher in their respective classes.
Yep.
I like Burns' game right now a little bit better, but Allen's strength and more of a power-based initial play is more of a Spags thing. So they might be more interested in Allen.
Yeah.
But
I would take Allen too.
We don't think they're going to move Allen, though, you guys. We don't think the Jags are interested in that. How do you think the Chiefs will do at the trade line, or what do you think they'll do? Chiefs in the clutch, we do think that they're going to be talking. I just don't know if they can get it done. And in the end, it may be, Odell, do you want a ring for real? Because we got 3.2 we can give you. That's all we got. You want it? We'll pay you, we'll stack it in the 3rd year that we can cut you with. You want to go get a ring or not? I think maybe that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Dean, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you from Canada. I love me some
Canada.
It's been a while. It has been, and good to see you back. Jalen and Josh are doing an admirable job. Great to see leading into McDuffie's return. I prefer baptism by fire for rookie corners over Fenton as a starter. I think, that's how Fenton got there too. So I think everything's gone okay this year.
Yeah.
In terms of getting them exposed. They're 5-2. This is where I had them at this point, to tell you the truth. I just had them losing other games.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little bit different way they got there.
Yeah. So I feel like they're still on track, and they've gotten the exposure for the rookies, just like they did with Snead, which means they'll be able to develop that much faster, which means next year you're going to be able to rely on them more. You got to rely on them now, but it's iffy. You can rely on them next year. So we're with you, Dean. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's nice to see you back. As well as Firefighter Farmer, haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back. I like it. Can we use the same game plan on the other Bosa and Mac or others like them?
So this is a little different because the 49ers were without Eric Armstead, okay? And when you only have to focus on one guy, it does make the game plan a bit easier. But I do think that you can incorporate some of them, keep a lot, again, using the jet motions consistently, and can finally getting more of those chips at the edge. And when you have the communication down with the tackle to not overset, that's the biggest thing, because they have been sending chip help, but Andrew Wiley has been oversetting so much that he gets beaten back by spin moves in that B gap all the time. And it's one of the big problems, him and Orlando Brown getting beat across their face a lot. So it's about the communication. So you can use the same game plan tactics. You can't just spam it like they could against Nick Bosa, because it's one guy. When you have multiple guys on the other side, you have to be a little bit more intentional about how you go about it.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why the whole AFC West thing, building pairs of rushers, was significant, because you can't do what they did this week. Although I think that they should have shown themselves enough that they're going to have to do a little bit of this. Maybe they can only choose one side to chip, but they have to do more of that to help these guys out. Farmer, glad you're back. Spards, thank you. I am happy for you. And I dig the avatar, by the way. It's kind of nice. KL, hope you're doing well. Tell me how to fix our base defense. Do we elevate Sheldon, or do we don't play base, or is there something else that I'm missing? I think the base is okay. Like, I thought Leo chased the ball really well. I thought he stuck his face in there in the first couple of drives and made some plays that were not his responsibility, but he understands now where he can peel off and go help inside. Mm-hmm. I don't think he got exposed. I think that they're just happy to give up rush yards over pass yards. And I think, again, Danny doesn't give you any pass rush.
No, it's just, this is what we've kind of accepted with Steve Spagnuolo. He doesn't care. This is what happens. Okay, guys, I'm going to lay it out for you with Steve Spagnuolo's game plan. He's like, you guys want to run it? Go for it. I'm going to bet my guys get a stop on first down at some point in short. And guess what? You're going to be in second and long. If you can run it again in second and long, go for it. But if you don't get it, you're going to be in third and long, and I'm going to blitz the absolute crap out of you. That's what Steve Spagnuolo's game plan is. And I'm telling you right now, for the majority of it, I think it's working okay.
And the whole league knows it.
He doesn't care. No idea.
That last one, and it's in my notes too. I may even pull the play this week. I don't know. Dan does such a good job of the film these days that I don't always pull plays every week. But there's one that blitz worked. It got to Garoppolo when he threw it up, and that's where J. Will got his interception. But if he didn't do that, the back was completely uncovered, and that was a tutty. It's just the fact that you were able to get to the quarterback that time.
It's betting on his first read.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of a predictable guy. Just saying. Just saying.
Thank you, KL. 65 TPT, if I can get it to come on. There we go. Should we trade Clark now for value, or maybe Cam Jordan from New Orleans? No one's going to trade you for Frank Clark, even at 13 mil. I don't think they're going to do that. And honestly, I like Cam Jordan, but I went and did check his stats last night after we talked about this, and I don't know that it's worth the money he's getting paid. And you're still on the hook for it if you trade for him.
Yeah, just get the most out of Frank you can right now. Like, this is the most you've gotten out of him, in my opinion, in a long time. Ride it. Just ride it.
Thank you, Chiefs comments. If the Panthers would take it, would you offer LJC as part of the offer for Burns, considering the substantial investment in the secondary this past offseason? I would not.
No, I wouldn't. L'Jarius Sneed's been so good, guys. I want to highlight him in my film room, but I've got so many things to talk about. He had such great plays, and it goes largely unnoticed because people don't care about him, and not like Chiefs fans, but the media. They don't have a clue. Yeah. He was so good in the run game and in just being around guys, being a slot player. He's just so good. By the way, the Jets are trading for James Robinson from the Jets. Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
The Jets just traded for James Robinson.
You just gave up a second-round pick for a running back who got hurt and proved my point all over again. Now you're going to give up more assets for another running back? I'm done.
Michael Carter's a good player. What are we doing here?
So's the third back I like. I can't remember
Johnson.
his name. Yes. Oh my, this. this is what drives me insane about the NFL, folks. Okay, sorry, little sidetrack there.
Sorry,
What's
guys.
realistic expectation? Des wants to know for McDuffie after the bye. I would like to see him play 50% of the snaps first 2 games back and see what happens, because I think you still want to get Jay Will some action.
Yeah, you do. I think you also want to see him get targeted.
Mhm.
I don't think he was targeted in his action in his first
I don't
game
think so.
at all. So he has yet to actually see real game, and I would imagine coming off from injury, he's going to get targeted at least once in that game. So I want to see how he reacts. It's pretty much all I'm looking for.
Well, I haven't seen the private chat from Dan while I'm talking, so I must be doing okay. But we do have quite a stack, so we are going to speed up.
Oh, good
Gary,
Lord.
do you see the defense getting better this year after the Niners game? What do you think? I think it's a blueprint, but there's always matchups that can take advantage. But they have to play like that with that kind of aggression. And quite frankly, I think Willie's presence was underrated and how much it let the defense as a whole be faster.
I mean, he also got benched at one point in the second drive for
Did he?
Darius Harris, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't understand what that was about, Spags, but whatever.
I got nothing. Bruce, thank you very much. Appreciate your support as always, my friend. With the idea of always improving the weaponry for Pat, are you guys interested in Chase Claypool if the price is right? I said it back then. I think Chase Claypool should be in the role that Jody Fortson's in when he came into the league. Like that giant slot, not a true tight end. I think that would crush in this offense. That's just me.
Just use Chase Claypool like a supersized McCole Hardman.
Yes.
Honestly,
yes.
if the price is right, oh yes. You could go 4 wide, Travis Kelce, slot receiver, McCole Hardman, opposite side, JuJu or MVS in the slot, Chase Claypool. Whoever else you want, guess what? Speed and size. Bring it.
I'm so here for it. Yeah. The price is he's still on a rookie contract, so he's affordable. That means they could get it done. Would the Pittsburgh Steelers ever give them Kansas? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but they're kind of petty. I don't know.
They did trade Melvin Ingram to us last year, so there's that.
I guess there is that. Okay, maybe I'm just holding grudges. Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate your support. And I think we're both kind of positive on that idea. Predict the remaining schedule. Okay, so point blank, Tennessee.
Win.
W. Jacksonville.
Win.
W. Chargers.
Win.
Rams.
Win.
I'm only going to speak when I disagree with you now. Cincinnati.
Okay. Oh, they'll be fired up for that game. Win.
Oh, okay, good. Denver.
Win.
Houston.
Win.
Seattle.
Lost. I think they're going to overlook the Seattle Seahawks and lose that game.
That is the overlook game. That and the Bengals, because I think they think the Bengals are bad now.
Yeah.
Look at what Joe did yesterday.
They're going to lose one of them. I don't know if it's going to be the Seahawks. I just can envision them losing to Seattle. I really can.
I could see the Chargers making a push.
Mike Williams is going to be out. Keenan Allen's not healthy. Also, their offense is a high school offense. It's bad.
I know, but none of that matters. They play within 4 points every dang time. None of it matters.
What do I know?
And then Denver and Las Vegas, I'm sure you think we win both of those. So
it could, yeah.
We agree there's maybe 1, maybe 2 losses in here if they stumble. They play it right and they play like they did yesterday, they can run it.
The Raiders will be tough, by the way, to end the season. They are the second best team in the AFC West, and I don't think it's close, by the way. I don't think it's close.
All right. I'm not ready to say that, but I'm glad you did. Frank Clark's long stiff arm is his best move, hands down. Yeah. If he just does it without the jab step.
Like if he can do what he did, if he can get that speed off, the speed rush down, that will be his best move. Because then he can actually trigger inside. If he can actually threaten the edge, guess what? He opens up more. He has to open everything else. So yeah.
RJ, it's nice to see you back.
Nice to see you, man.
And I hope you're doing well. Still at some point we'll get together and collaborate on something. Man, I can't get it all done. I'm sorry, you guys. This is one-hit wonder defense of a Lion game, or do you think that they can see this a couple times in the future? It's a good question, Jaden. I think this is what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Can they raise it to that level every time?
It's all about, because I think they were prepared after that first 10 points. It seems like they came to play a little bit better, and it showed really. But I do think having Willie back just kind of helps everybody out. It allows you to blitz, Bolton a bit more too, which he did on Chris Jones's first sack. He was blitzing, so I think it's just kind of helps everybody out.
I think we're both like I'm thinking Burns is probably the better option for diversity in terms of pass rush. I think Dan likes Josh, and I think the team likes Josh a little bit better. But again, it's about availability.
Yeah.
Josh, thank you for the support. Completely unrelated topic, not a team need by any means, but I would love to see what Andy could do with Taysom Hill. Would be super fun. I mean, yeah. I mean, Taysom Hill could end up having a I don't know. He could have a 14 career.
Yeah.
He plays like 4 snaps a game on average. It's not like they're grinding him into the
No,
ground.
right?
So, hey, who knows? It would be interesting, I have to say. That's a good point, Josh. Thank you. Let's see. Carolina declined any Birds trade. So who do you see Chiefs trading for? Just because they declined it doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah.
They're going to decline a lot of things until like the day before because they want to drive the price up. And the more they decline, the more that they think people will come back with the offer they want. And do I see Rojo being included? We talked about this last night. Did you change your mind at all, Dad?
No, I just don't think he has any value. I personally just cut him.
Yeah, he's a throwaway at this point. Oregon Fishing, glad to see you're back. Hope you're doing well. Do you worry that Burns is just Clark 2.0 and tying up big money isn't worth the risk? That's a fair concern because there was no indication that Frank would do what Frank's done when he was exactly in this position with Burns. But I will say this. I don't think that you have to worry about. I think that's less the case in terms of like every time you roll the dice on it. And what I know of Burns from his pre-draft process, like he wants to go down in history. He wants to be on that all-time sack list. Like I don't think it's the money that drives him.
I also think that Frank Clark unfortunately got sick. Like he has a consistent stomach issue, whatever it is, it's chronic. Okay. And that wasn't apparent in Seattle. When he got into Kansas City, it clearly has impacted his play. And he's, he talked about this offseason, learning what he needs to eat, and how to get his body to function the way it is. And right now we're seeing, even though he's had to deal with it a little bit this season, he looks better than he has in the last few years. So it's really hard to predict stuff like that too.
Yeah, it really is. You guys, Red has a very good point. If you would hit the thumbs up, that always helps us. We would appreciate it. Monday night streams are always interesting. We've been doing this forever, so if people get used to it, we'd appreciate it. If you're not one of us yet, get subbed too, because we do more content and more types of content than anybody I've ever seen on this platform. So we're going to keep busting it. Mac, thank you. Appreciate you. 3 options. Quinn for a 5th and sign Sue. Burns for a 1st and a 2nd, or 2nd-round pick for one of the Washington D linemen.
So you don't have enough money for Quinn, so that's already off the table.
And certainly not Quinn and sign somebody.
Yeah.
So that's out. 2nd for Sweat?
I would. We kind of had this question raised last night. If it comes down to Burns for a 1st and a 2nd, or a 1st plus, and Sweat for a 2nd, I will lean Sweat.
Yeah, and I think Veach will too.
Yeah.
Veach wants value.
So a 1st-round pick too.
Let me know what you think, Mac.
Yeah,
and you guys too. Leave your thoughts in the comments there. Of those 3 scenarios that Mac just put out there, put it out there. And
let's get it going.
Jacob, let's talk about this one. You're Veach. I'm sorry, Firefighter Farmer. Welcome back again. You're Veach, and take the Clark experiment out of the equation. Is Burns worth 2 first-round picks? I have trouble with that. At the end of the day, defense is almost always more volatile in terms of its week to week and year to year production.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with a 1st and a 3rd. I'm good with that.
Yep, that's the sweet spot.
After that, it's about how much do you foresee. The good thing is they have multiple 3rds. They have extra picks, and that's the only reason that I would consider that at this point.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay. Frey, thank you. Thank you, Firefighter. Watching GP. What am I not getting here?
Watching GP catching touchdowns.
GP.
George Pickens.
Oh, Pickens. Okay.
Pickens.
Causing instant fumbling is painful. FO is not good at drafting skill positions. I don't know that I agree with that. Pickens is making some plays, sure, but I don't know. Chase Claypool did the same thing, and now Chase Claypool might be on the trade block.
I'm not so sure. if the roles are reversed, what's George Pickens doing in this offense, guys? I want a general answer. He's doing
True.
the same thing. They're not
Yeah.
involving him because he's a rookie. Like
Yeah.
I get it. He's having some really nice contested ball adjustments. Those are things that he did well in college.
Yep.
He's not separating, guys. Right now, I tell you right, he's not separating. He's also not really being challenged on a defensive level against really good cover corners.
True.
So just Noah Igbenogany, I liked him coming out. He didn't do
He hasn't
much.
done nothing.
So I like what Pickens is doing. He's got some really nice ball skills, and he can push guys to the ground. But in this offense, he's not doing anything. He's still in the same boat.
Fair enough. Frey, appreciate the question though. Daniel, you guys play GM. What would you if you're just doing it all, Dan, what do you go do?
Right now, I'm calling about Montez Sweat because I do think it will be a steep hill to climb to get Brian Burns. Obviously, I'm calling about them too, but Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, come on. I think that your coach might get fired. You guys need some draft prospects, okay? Need some picks. We got some in Kansas City, okay? I can work with this. You guys need some. I got some. I'm doing that. I'm probably restructuring and extending Chris Jones. That's what I'm doing first. It's something that Chris talked about last night. It would free up a ton of money. You can do it right now in this bye-week time because I think Chris Jones needs to be a Kansas City Chief for life.
Yeah,
for life.
I'm with you.
So those are the two things right now I'm doing.
Okay. I would explore all of that. In the end, I don't think that it works out for a cost that they like. So I'm going to Odell and I'm saying I can do one thing with 3.2. That's what I have. Do you want a ring? And if you can get that, then I've made this offense to the point that I can live with the defense giving up 28 points and feel like I'm very confident I can win that ball game.
Okay.
I just in terms of a 1 year, try to figure it out and get it done. That's probably where I'm leaning at this moment.
I get it.
It is what it is. Papa, what about an under the radar trade like Marcus Davenport? Wasn't big on him coming out. He's done nothing in the pros to make me think that he can be a force of any kind.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Would you rather have a rotation of Watson and Fenton or keep Watson and Williams in to progress them through the postseason? It's a tough one. Things change in the playoffs.
It's going to be different. I think that maybe early on in the season, because you're going to have a kind of a lull. I don't want to say it's a lull for, all players because all teams are different. But at the same time, you have an area now to kind of get them some snaps. Maybe if it starts to get a little bit tougher and down the stretch, you get Fenton back on the field because he's probably going to be playing in the postseason. He has that experience, and that's very important in the postseason. And I do think he's going to end up playing a little bit of safety and corner as well. So, yeah, I think that's probably what I would do.
I'm with you. Thank you, Kale. Hunt in Idaho. Could the Chiefs use Hardman as potential trade capital in a Burns deal? I mean, it's pretty high right now. If you were trying to do that, it would make sense. I just don't think that they want to. I think they don't want to have to make a deal where it's like, okay, you gained here, but you lost here. I think they're just looking to add. That's what
I agree.
Rumors Kadarius Toney is on the trade for a fourth. Good route runner and elite speed. I would never get a fourth for him. He's a head case. I don't want him on the roster at all. But certainly when you have Skyy Moore and McCole Hardman on the roster, what does Kadarius do that they don't? I have no use for him. VJ.
He gets way better yak than any of either of those guys.
All right, fair enough.
I would be thinking about it personally.
Yep. Okay.
And that's because I believe in the culture. And again, I don't think a fourth is too much to invest in a guy that has a ton of raw talent. And if he gets in the right spot and gets his head right, again, that's a big if. Body, mind are both issues. He's injured all the time, and he's, like I said, a head case. So that's where I'm looking at it. Like, I think I would start looking at it there.
I'm down. Folks, this is my friend Avery. She's really in charge of that end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Dan's just like miming whatever she says because she's got the game
she's
down.
talking in my ear about what I
that's what
I need to do.
Hi, Miss Avery. I like the bunny or whatever that is.
Yeah,
looks like a bunny. Okay. Firefighter Farmer, thank you very much. You guys were high on Karlaftis weren't high on Karlaftis coming out. How are the DNs that you like doing, i.e. Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas just made Louis Riddick's guys to watch list today, by the way.
He also leads rookies in pass rush win rate with 24.3%.
Yes. Now he's not as explosive. He's not getting the pressure. He's not getting the playing time. That is because of the guys that they have in front of him, including a guy named J.J. Watt. But I think learning from Watt is going to be what it is. And I still feel really good about Cam Thomas in the future.
There's two raw guys that I loved, Sam Williams and Kingsley Enagbare.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are top 5 in pass rush win rate. Sam Williams, by the way, I watched that game against the Lions. That's a really good offensive line. He was winning. Yeah. He was winning. Sam Williams, 16.3% is second. And Enagbare, I've seen flash multiple times at the Packers, 13.5. Just to show you, they're not getting the pressures that Karlaftis is, but Karlaftis isn't winning enough.
Well, that's the thing. And that's, you guys will always see me in the draft season. And in fact, I'll probably put it out. I'll probably update it on NFL 33 this week. You guys go get subbed over there. I do all the draft class pass rush, and I'll do the rookies here because Karlaftis is now leading in pressures.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. I separate that from pass rush grade because it's win rate in your rep, and then it's whether you get a pressure, and then it's whether you finish. Because what George isn't doing is finishing and getting the sack. That is Aiden Hutchinson and Drake Jackson that are leading that for this rookie class. So there's there's 3 different things you got to do. It's a 3-step process for me. And that's why it's important, because if you can get win rate, you have the opportunity to get a pressure.
Yep.
If you're schemed up and you get pressure, you have an opportunity to finish. That's the way that it flows. So I still feel pretty good about that. The guy that I still feel has a lot of upside that isn't really getting a whole lot right now is D'Angelo Malone. I think he still has what it takes. I just haven't seen much from him yet. It is what it is.
It is what it is, yep.
But I will say this too. George is doing exactly what I had hoped that he will do. He's actually pressuring more with just power than I thought he would as a rookie. So kudos.
That's true.
Britton, what would a Chris Jones extension look like? Years APY. I think he's going to push for 4 or 5. I think the Chiefs are going to do something that you get out at 3.
Yes, more than likely.
And I think it's 20-ish.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chris, sit down. Here's the checkbook.
Close your eyes and picture this defense without him.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying right now, you pretty much write him a blank check.
Yeah. And I hate to say that anyway.
It sucks. It does. But he might get upwards of 25 a year.
Somebody's going to be desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Darius, hope you're doing well. Thanks for the support, buddy. What does Spags do schematically with the added flexibility of having McDuffie back? Could he play more robber role like Honey Badger did? I think you've seen that a little bit more, not this week, but the week previous, where you saw Reed kind of hovering in that area. I think that's what they should do with Fenton, allowing McDuffie to just man the corner and be there. But I also think Cook can do some of that as well. And what I want to see is they used to run back in the late 80s, early 90s. There was a scheme where you could run double robber with a single high.
Yeah.
And that really took away what it wasn't in the league then. But all these intermediate crossers that teams run now, including the Chiefs, double robber takes that away. And that's a defense that I would like to see them, because they're in dime so much anyway. Just rotate to it and keep it disguised. I think that could actually really do something for you.
Yeah, I think when Brian Cook gets back to full health, that'll be where we see the creativity kind of come through.
I think you're probably right. And I just realized I had the wrong background on, so I just wanted to give you guys that, because that's the second week in a row I did that.
It is the second week in a row. I forgot too. I didn't even see it.
Hey, even the Mona Lisa's falling apart, folks. Brad Brenner, thank you, sir. You talked about Juju Pistachio. I love that one.
I love that.
And Skyy sharing the backfield. Who's fastest? Who's quickest? And who has the best vision? Fastest timing is Skyy, correct?
I believe it's Pistachio.
Oh, okay.
4.37, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Best change direction was Skyy.
Yes.
And best vision, I would probably argue, is either Skyy or Juju. I would probably lean towards Juju.
I would lean Skyy personally, myself. But again, that's kind of a toss-up at this point for those two.
Great question, Brad.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. Ben, great win, but what's up with all the slow starts to games? The lack of focus preparation? Are they just bored? They want Madden setting very difficult. It's freaking out there the first quarter. I don't blame you for freaking out. And honestly, there is something to that. Like they are, remember, this team has played what? Close to 76 games in the last 4 years?
Yeah. 2 AFC championships, 2 Super Bowls. That's a ton of football.
Yeah. It's like you got the Ferrari and it's idling. And you're just sitting there, the sun's out, the hot chick pulls up next to you. And you're just like, hey, I'm going to sit here for a bit. Oh, wait, now I need to go?
Oh, they're passing me. Okay.
Right? They just got to get kicked into gear after. It's frustrating, but I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All Bono. Worried about Watson. Ayuk beat him off the snap pretty consistently. That's what Ayuk does. I'm not that worried about it. Like Watson was never a lightning first step kind of guy. He needs to be physical. Do you disagree?
No, I wish they would let him play true press a little bit more because I think that's both him and Joshua Williams' strong suit. But we don't see that nearly enough.
We're going to finish these last few up here, folks. We're under 20. Congratulations. Back shoulder passes from Mahomes is another nice arsenal. I'm with you. Add it. And honestly, add the crossbar throw and let Jody go get it, and you're done. It's done. Yeah. I mean, hey, more things you can do, right? Swag boy, hope you're well. Honestly, I think we can win the next 2 after the bye. Thoughts? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Not concerned about that in the slightest. Lee, do you think the Chiefs feel like Niang will help when he's back in November, December? I think they're hopeful. I don't know if they know yet.
They don't. Andy talked about he could be coming back after the bye. That seems to be more like, well, let's hope he's going to be on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can only hope. Knock on wood. David, thank you for the support. I continue to see Karlaftis in the mix for pressure. What's your take on the bottom line benefit? I don't want to muss the wide receiver group. Pressure is key for me in December. I'm with you. I think, again, what we've been kind of leaning towards is what speed does for you as a change up from all the power that you have at edge right now. I mean, honestly, what's Chris Jones's biggest thing? It may not be flat out speed rush, but it is quickness inside, both with hands and feet. So I don't know. I think it's a nice thing to do. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking all over you, Dan. I apologize.
No, you're fine. You're good, man. You and I continue with the same thing. They need some speed at pass rusher. They just need it.
Yeah, no way around it. Left-handed fork, very interesting. Did Frank really beat Trent for a safety? I really enjoy the Q&As. Love your guys' work. I appreciate the content. Thank you, left-handed. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, that was real. You didn't make that up. That was legitimate.
I know the game was going so well, and you maybe thought, I may have imagined that. Nope, that was 100% Frank Clark.
And if you are somebody who has a tendency to drink during the game, sometimes you just got to wonder, did I really just see that? But you did. Now, Trent was light practice all week with an ankle, so I can't say he's 100%, but Lord knows Frank hasn't seen 100% since Seattle, so I think that's probably even. Thank you, though. Appreciate you left-handing and appreciate you watching. Holly, thank you. Last time they were 3-4. Last year they were 3-4 at this point. How much better, if at all, do you feel that the Chiefs being 5-2 at this point? Do you think that the success will carry through on the rest of the season? I feel like they got through the harder half of the schedule pretty unscathed.
Yeah.
I had them losing 3. No, I had them losing 4 all season. I had them losing 2 in the first 7. They're right on track for where I had hoped.
Man, I feel so much better about it this year. I mean, they were struggling through different things last year. Mahomes was struggling with the 2 highs. He's not struggling with the 2 highs anymore. It's a little different because they retooled and the team feels a little bit different. Like they had to work on a brand new offense without Tyreek Hill, and they're finding their way through that now. And they're 5-2 while doing that. So I think that, and they had a tougher schedule this year than they did last year. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel good. I feel good
as well. The Bengals are probably the highlight for me. You got to make sure you're awake for that.
Yep.
And you got to take care of business in your division. And I think they're going to be in good shape. I think they crushed Seattle. I just got to tell you, I just don't buy it.
I hope so. I just see this like a normal, it's Geno. And they just get tore up.
True. That's fair. Daniel, I love you guys. I'm fighting cancer right now. Well, cheers to you. Keep up the fight,
you're
buddy.
all right, man. Keep fighting.
Go attack it. I've been that through that in my family several times. Go fight it. Good for you.
Good choice.
And you guys give me the strength and all the info I need to keep it up. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yes.
And we will be here for you. I hope that it goes well. I say be aggressive with it. It's been, like I said, throughout my family. And I have a survivor that was diagnosed at 2 years old with leukemia, and he's going strong now as a teenager. He can be beaten. So go get it. Cheers to you.
Fighting, man. Keep fighting.
Absolutely. Cheers to you, buddy. Dan, it was nice to meet you the other day, or weeks ago. Sorry. I hope you're doing well. Okay. You said the same thing. Cheers. Me and the legend of Rock Auto Truck. I know, like, there's more dings in that thing than you think, right? Do the first 15 scripted plays getting played in order, no matter what, or are they adjustable? Generally, in my experience, now I don't know Andy Reid. I don't know nobody that coaches with him or ever has. In my experience, at the college level, they put them in stone, and they're used to test, and they're used to kind of pile onto each other to see what will work. I have a feeling Reid's a little bit more pliable than that, but I don't know that.
No, something tells me that they're based on look. They've got 15 plays that they feel really, really good about, and they've scripted up, and they say, based on the look, we'll run this, we'll run that. That's what I personally think happens. But again, we don't really know.
Yeah. Someday I hope to know that, but probably not till Andy retires, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But Dan, it was good to see you, and thanks. I appreciate it. Avery, I think we all agree that Jalen Watson has done enough to replace Fenton as a starter. They're likely opposite McDuffie. How do you view the use between Fenton and Williams turning out after the bye? Who comes first? That's going to be the question. Spags is loyal. I think he's going to try Fenton. I hope that they just kind of like let him platoon. If a guy doesn't have a ton of like speed, I would probably let Fenton go at him and be his aggressive self and feel comfortable with that. But I got to tell you, I really do like the idea of him playing some safety.
Yeah, I think that might just be best. You're getting a lot of good play out of them, and your rookies better than you thought, and he's already got experience there. It just kind of makes too much sense to me.
And then you have all your long corners at corner. You're not dealing with anybody shorter or less arm length. Like
exactly.
J. Will Watson, McDuffie and Snead. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. Thanks, Avery. Royce, thank you. If you guys would hit the thumbs up, that helps, especially for all you newbies. Avery had another one. Is it just me, or is it everyone who plays the position that we're being rumored on the market for? They all played their tail off yesterday. Tackle, edge, and wide receiver. Yeah, it's like the premier positions want to get traded. Yeah, do what you can to do that. Let's see. Hunt in Colorado. Or I almost said Hunt in Colorado. You should do that too, though, folks. Hunt in Idaho. Is McColl trade fodder? What do you think, Dan?
I don't think so. I look, right now you're using him in the best way to help your offense. You take away a guy with 4.27 3 speed. We're talking about changing the whole dynamic of the offense. You can't do those jet sweeps anymore. Those are easy touchdowns, and it creates a stress for the defense horizontally, and you can attack downfield vertically. So I don't want to mess that up personally.
Yeah, I'm with you. And like I said, I would probably double down on it a little bit and add some wrinkles. Bill, thank you. Appreciate you. If we don't get an edge, is there any interior player we could acquire via trade that could move the needle for the pass rush in any meaningful way? Not from the rumors that I've heard on the interior defensive line.
There isn't much.
If I had to pick one, no, I haven't heard of any teams wanting to move D tackles that can rush the passer.
Nope.
Not yet. So no, it is edge or wide out. Joseph, thank you. Appreciate your support. Who do you take first next year? Who do you take first next year in the draft? Quentin Johnson is there at 28-ish. I'm not convinced Quentin Johnson. I'm not convinced of him yet.
I don't think he's going to be there anyway. Right now, the way if he keeps this up, I think he's going to be a top 15 pick. And also, I have a little bit of inside information. He is going to destroy the combine. Like, we're talking setting some records possible.
Leaps or flat speed?
All of it.
Yeah? Okay. I'm really interested to see that, because right now I take A.T. Perry over him. Yeah,
he did a pro day type thing a few weeks ago, and I have a little guy who was talking to me about it. It's he's going to put some teams on notice, and if he keeps this up, he's gonna go top 15.
We're going to need to talk about this offline. And
Yeah.
as much as I love them, rock chalk, destroying the Jayhawks secondary does not make you a first-round draft pick. So
No, it doesn't.
That's all right. Jayhawks will survive. HD Dreamin', thank you. Appreciate you, buddy, as always. A lot of great folks contributing to us. We really do appreciate
Love
that.
you guys. Appreciate it.
Last question for the night, as we're 10 minutes over. I apologize for doing that again, guys. Should we have done the deal for James Robinson? No. That would destroy the ability to develop Pacheco. Because you have to play Robinson if you go acquire him.
Yeah, you do. This is a move to play James Robinson. And the way the Chiefs are operating at running back, it's full-blown committee. That's what it is, and that's what it will be the whole season. And James Robinson, in my opinion, can do it all. And he is a lead type of player, and then that would be something you're taking away from the rest of your players. So, yeah. No.
Agreed. Yeah, that's my concern too, Avery. I bit hard on Kevin White. I thought he would be the next coming, and
that was my issue earlier, like preseason before everything. I didn't think he was consistently running routes. So, word out of the street is he's better. So we'll see.
Carrie just got here and she threw a comment in, so I want to make sure I get it. Thank you, Carrie, and I'm glad that you're in the memberships now. Just came in, so I think all the doubters have been shown the light. So Skyy should be kept on offense, in my opinion. What are y'all's thoughts? I'd like to see him get more touches. I think they're going to ramp him up.
Me too.
Do you think they're just going to keep him really low until they unveil, or is it going to be steady?
I think hopefully after the bye he gets a few more targets and a few more snaps. I think that's what they should be doing. I know that everyone's kind of looking good on the same page. I think MVS has snaps that can be taken. I truly think they can be taken from him. And interchanging him and Skyy Moore on a more rotational basis probably pays dividends for the offense.
Yeah, I agree. Holly, thank you. Thank you, Dan, for answering the questions and going over. Thank you, FLB, for moderating and for building the Discord out. He's made some great changes lately, something that I could never figure out how to do. FLB is the man. I hope everyone has a great week and enjoy the stress-free bye week. Yes, and don't forget, we will be here breaking things down, everything related Chiefs, especially as we go up to the trade deadline. So, yes, it's a good week to have a bye week. It's also a lot that could be going on, so don't miss it. We will have everything for you. And this is how you get to the Discord. So we only put this up in RGR circles. I don't put this on social. This is just here on RGR videos because we want it to be RGR folks. You got to be a member still. It's still a member perk. But now you can go check it out and you get connected and you can sign up that way. Then you can come back and join the memberships if you choose that you want to be in it. So wanted to get everybody that. That's what FLDB is doing. It's bit.ly.rgrnation or /RGRnation. Thank you, Night Hunter. Glad you made it. Everybody else, thank you. Thank you, Gary OG. I like seeing that. And maybe this guy may be this year's McKinnon. Playoff use explosion out of nowhere. I hope so. And hey, Royce, Red likes the shorts. Rock and roll. All right, we will keep them up.
Keeping up.
We will eventually show you our new guy. So, hey, there's a lot going on. Enjoy your week. We'll be back tomorrow with the breakdowns, film Wednesday, whatever else I can come up with. Check out NFL 33 for the other stuff. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great one. Talk to you later.